For the next session, with great honor, I now welcome Professor S. Kalaiselvam sir, who is a distinguished professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering and the Director of Center for Industrial Safety, Anna University. During his tenure as head of the Department of Applied Sciences and Technology, he successfully inducted a B.Tech program in Petroleum Engineering and Technology. He also published more than 110 technical papers in various international journals, 14 patents, 2 books, and 9 books chapters in international standards alone, and 90 more in national and international conferences. Notably, Sir has listed in the top 2% of scientists across the world. He has received several awards, significantly includes Excellence in Intellectual Property Rights, Innovation Awards, the Tamil Nadu Young Scientist Award. He is also an active member in the Indian Institute of Chemical Engineers, Safety Engineer Association, the Indian Society of Heating, Refrigerating and Air Conditioning Engineers, and the Indian Society for Technical Education. Now, I request Director CFR to present a book as a token of remembrance.
Thank you. So, well, good afternoon. Audible, right? Yeah. And again, from yesterday onwards, the people in Anna University mostly talk how to do research, what all the research facilities that is available, and what all the funding opportunity that is available. So, you will be fully energized by hearing the faculty's idea. Now, this particular talk, I am not going to share anything related to funds and research, right? So, I will make you more relaxed. So, this is the topic for this presentation is safety measures in research. Ensure a safety and control research environment. Myself, Dr. S. Kalaiselvam, Director, Center for Industrial Safety. I am also a professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering. So, before going to discuss the safety research, let me show my research profile. Then only you will come to know that why the safety is really required. So, these are all the research achievements or credential from our research group. So far we completed 16 sponsored research projects from various funding agencies to the tune of around 483 lakhs or close to 5 crores. And our research group is holding 6 granted patents and 9 under pipeline that's published. And H&X is 40, I-10 is 75, and we have also published 10 book chapter in international standard, and we are also authored 2 international books, one in Elsevier and other one in Springer. So these are all sample patent books and chapter. So this is my research scholar credential. So from our research group, so far 15 students completed their PhD, 8 ongoing. From our research students, it's not my credential. With the help of my scholars, it's possible for me to publish more than 100 research articles, and the citation is 5595. And in our group, 2 students completed postdoctoral research, and women scientists too. So these are all the various award received. This is only because of my scholars. Okay. So whatever the stuff that I'm going to discuss, or whatever the stuff I shown, I will not show it to you because this forum is slightly different. Why safety is required, right? To achieve whatever the stuff that I have, to obtain that, we follow the safety, right? Why the safety is very crucial? Whether the safety is required for a scholar, safety is really required or not? Okay, anyway, so here there is a fellow, right? They are moving, they are riding a bicycle, well focused and direction, right? So let us assume that they are moving in a right direction. So as a scholar, you have to move in a focused and you have to move in a right direction. So the slow and steady process. So here the other fellow, right? Maybe your colleague in the nearby lab, they are moving at a very faster rate, right? They are using race car to approach their target, right? Each will have your own target. So normally as a scholar, maybe your target is to complete your PhD in a right time. So this guy, he goes slow and steady and approach the target. The other guy use the race car to approach the target. Then there is other guy, maybe smarter guy nearby laboratory, uses this to make very fast. Who will reach the target or who will approach the target? So one is moving slow and steady, other is moving at a race car speed. The third one is moving at a very high speed. They is flying like anything, right? Which people will approach the target? Any guessing? It's not a research, right? It's all. That's why I told that I'm not going to talk anything about your research. It's only a general. Who will approach the target first? Slow and steady. Yeah, it's right. Normally, if you go slow and steady, you can easily approach the target. Any other answer? So you have to slow. And again, at the time of doing my research, the first year itself, I published a research article. Right, at the end of the year, I have a paper. I'm not so slow, right? Any other answer? Yeah, correct. Normally here, all the people, whether you are slow and steady or you are faster, you are ultra faster, all people will reach the target unless otherwise they have a braking system. Okay? If you have a braking system, then only you can ride a vehicle, right? Without brake, you can't ride a vehicle. Without brake, you can't fly. Without brake, you can't go with Formula 1 car. So the intention is, this brake is nothing but your safety device or your safety. Whether you go with ultra fast or you go with slow and steady, if you go along with your safety device, you can reach the target, you can approach your problem easily, right? So hence, you can easily understand that the safety is very important. You may be slow, steady, fast, ultra fast, whatever may be the cases. So here, the safety research, if you are not follow the safety, you may come across with a lot of, to prevent accidents, injuries, equipment damage, and the research delay, right? So here, there is a statistics stated that 74% of the research lab incident occurs due to human error. Okay? And again, this is again coming under safety. If you follow proper safety protocol, this can be easily addressed. And again, if you are not follow the safety proposed procedures or safety protocol, even you go with ultra speed or slow and steady, your research project will delay by 20%. That's what the data says that. Okay? And again, if you have a proper engineering control with all safety standards, the incidents or the accidents can be greatly reduced. So here, this particular, right? What I understand this, mostly if you do any routine work, so you can categorize into routine and non-routine works, right? If the professional cook make a dish, it's a routine process. As a scholar, that is not your routine process. Similarly, in research also, you may come across non-routine operations or non-routine performance. Okay? So, if there is a good scholar, she will not do like that. Right? At the time of cooking itself, he is tasting. That's not the high temperature, right? That's a way most of the research scholar will do that. Even in our laboratory, we can find that maybe a 1 week period they used to struggle with the problem. Once they find a solution, they will be excited, right? That you are supposed not to do that. You must be very calm and quiet. And always follow the safety protocols. So these are all the key safety areas: chemical safety, electrical safety, biological, radiation, fire, and mechanical. So it almost covers the entire research area, right? You may be work with chemical, you may be work with electrical, all this has to be, it's coming under one, right? So here again, if you say that, if you want to increase the safety or you adapt the safety, obviously your risk level reduces. Okay? So wherever possible, you have to reduce the risk. Maybe in the forthcoming slides, I will projecting how to reduce the risk. So these are all the various safety standards that pertaining to the scholars or research laboratory. So whenever in your research, you try to include this particular standards in writing paper or writing article or writing research book, you try to quote this particular standards. It's easy to publish an article. And in laboratory also, my sincere request is you try to follow this standards, that is ISO 45001, Occupational Health and Safety Management, ANSI Z10, it's Occupational Safety Management System, OSA 29 CFR, that's a Chemical Laboratory Safety Standards, NFPA, that's a Fire Protection in Research Laboratories, ISO 17025, it's a General Safety Laboratory and Competency Requirements. If you try to follow all this, whatever the standards stated, the conditions, you can reduce the legal liabilities. Legal liabilities you can easily address. And apart from that, for the scholars, maybe the legal liabilities will become to the supervisor. As far as the scholars are concerned, you improve the workplace efficiency. Workplace efficiency increased by 30%. This is not my data. It's again a data reported by several researchers. Okay? And again, you can enhance the resource safety as well as equipment longevity. So before going to see in detail of the particular standards, I will have a discussion on certain case studies. Normally this safety and energy, the case study is very, very important. If you go through case studies, then you can realize why this is so important. Okay? So for that, I'm taking a case study. Yeah, what is that? Tata Institute for Fundamental Research. It's a well-known research institution, right? They're doing a lot of research, fundamental research. So here, that's an electrical short circuit happened. So in the research laboratory, that's high energy physics equipment laboratory. In this laboratory, there is a short circuit happen. There's a fire, rapid spread of fire. So because of that, there's a 12 crores worth of capital loss. So this is the incident. During the incident, how it would be. If you look at that, before that, the building is very nice. So after that, we look at that, how it would be. So here, the 12 crores capital in loss. So here, the overload power circuit problem is again the problem is the cause identified was lack of fire rated materials in laboratory design. So normally after this incident, they upgrade the wiring with fire resistance coating, and emergency response planning is also to be important. So after this incident, the Tata Institute, they seriously adopted the emergency plan. So this is a case study in IIC Bangalore. So you all know that this is one of the pioneer institution doing research. So and again, this is the very latest. This was happened in 2018. Right, you are all coming here to do research. After that, your dream will be, right, you have higher dreams. Similarly, a guy in IIC Bangalore, he also involved in this. This work is hydrogen-based work. You know that the hydrogen is a forthcoming fuel. So this hydrogen cylinder leakage causes a great explosion. This is in IIC Bangalore. You all know that IIC Bangalore, it's a central government funded institution. A lot of funding. They used to follow safety protocol. Still, what happens? If you look at that, there's a tragic incident happened. So because of that, it's in the hypersonic and shockwave research laboratory. The researcher, it's only why we are very much serious about the safety. The first affected or first victim will be the research scholar. Now because you are going to work in the field, the supervisor will not work. You are supposed to work in this particular laboratory, so you are the first victim. The same thing is happened here, IIC Bangalore. Manoj Kumar is died. And again, 3 other injured in this hydrogen cylinder explosion. So this after the explosion, how it would be. So here, there's a fatal incident. 1 people died and critical injuries 3. Even though it's a centrally funded institutions, they have this type of problems if you are not follow the safety very meticulously. This is a CSR laboratory. It's again, you all know that centrally funded institution. So here there is a chemical spillage, right? But fortunately, there is no fatal incident happen in this particular place. Only the researcher working in that particular laboratory inhale the chemical fumes. They may have a small light level or medium level respiratory tract problems. So here only the 25 research scholars, it's only a slight problem. So this is a global case study. So whatever the cases we discussed so far, it's all related with Indian scenario. You all know that the safety is must for even the globe, right? Whether it may be Western countries, US, UK, or whatever may be the cases, if they are not follow the safety procedures or protocol strictly, they again come across this type of issues. It's again a brutal or very critical incident happened. This terret butyl lithium, right? This is a highly flammable chemical. Lithium, people are working on energy storage. So here, this is the lady, right? This is a lady, severe burn, right? I'll show. So this is the incident photograph and how it would be, right? If you look at that, this particular lady, even though she's wearing proper goggles and other things, he's not wear the proper lab coat. That's again very mandate. That is why in case of all the laboratories, we insist the research students or the scholars to wear proper clothing. So here, because of that, what happens? There's a fatal incident happened. That particular lady died, and again, the institution, there's a loss. It's a life loss. It's again, it's not. It's a very pathetic. In addition to that life loss, the institution is supposed to pay 4.5 million US dollar as a penalty to the student's parent. It's again, if you look at that, this is only by, if severe the proper lab coat, this incident can be avoided. And again, in all this chemical, wherever the people are working in the chemical areas, we insist to have a shower, water shower, right? But in industry, they are very meticulously following. But in case of institution, none of the institution they used to follow, they don't have a proper water shower. If you are affected by a chemical, you go and shower automatically. Most of the problems related to chemical will be addressed. Even the international institution, they don't have this facility. So because of that, there is a fatal incident happen. This again a success story, right? So for whatever the 4 case study, it's all brutal and fatal incidents. Even still, there are some laboratories, they used to work with high safety. So here, this is a success story. You don't find any, even a small incident in Baba Atomic Research Station. They are all seriously and meticulously follows whatever the standard protocol. Okay? Yes. They are very strict in Atomic Energy Regulatory Board guidelines. They don't violate even a single or even a minor things, they don't violate. So because of that, it's good. You have to pray to God. No incident happened here. So this again, a worst industrial disaster. You all know that this is not related to research. It's again related to industry disaster. You may be aware of that, right? This Bhopal, it's a very tragic incident happened. It's in the 3rd December 1984. So this, it's not a workable, it's not a working industry. So at that time they wind up all this working. So what happens? So this is an incident after the incident. And this is a photograph after the incident. You just imagine that it's a very tragic incident. So here, around 15,000 people died. So because of this incident. So here again, they are poor maintenance, right? And again, that incident will not happen if you are maintain the system regularly, whether the system is working or not working. So that particular incident, it was not working at that particular time. But if it's not working, you have to maintain if there is a hazardous chemical or hazardous material present in that. So the lesson is Indian industries mandate real-time gas leak detectors. Even though we learned a lesson, but it's a loss of 15,000 lives, right? So after that, the strong enforcement of Hazardous Chemical Act. And this is AIIMS Delhi, right? This is one of the, I visited AIIMS Delhi. It's international facilities available in AIIMS. It's highly international standards. The sports facilities also to be international standard. The safety they used to follow, but still there is a fire incident happened in AIIMS Delhi. So this is before the incident. This is during the incident, and this is again during the incident. So because of that, what happens? Sorry. So here, I told that it's an international level institution. They used to follow safety protocols. So because of that, there is no the damage is there, but the damage is very minimal. There is no fatal incident happen. And this is NASA, that is Apollo mission. You all know that. I don't want to go deep into that. These three people, astronauts, this incident, it's a very pathetic incident. So here again there is a 3 fatal happens. So this is a case study in Stanford University. Even Stanford University, there is an incident happen, but there is no fatal incident. The people working in nanotechnology, they inhaled the nanomaterials. So because of that, there is a problem. Even in our laboratory, people have come across this type of incident, even though we insist the students to use the fume cupboards, right? Whether it may be difficult to use the fume cupboards. If you try to have the habit of using the fume cupboards, this respiratory problem can be greatly addressed. And again, wherever possible, in case of nanotechnology area, we used to insist the use of HEPA filters, high efficiency, particulate efficiency. This even IIT Kanpur, there is an incident happen, explosion in the chemistry laboratory, but less data are available. So this is ISRO, even on ISRO, there is an incident happen. Yeah, this is Yale University. It's an international university, you all know that. So here there is an incident happen. So normally whenever you are going to the laboratories, what they used to give an instruction, you are supposed to have all this hair to be intact, no loose shirts or pants are allowed. So here again this incident happened because of this long hair, right, because of entangled, right, this hair get trapped into the lathe. So because of that there is a fatal incident happened. She died because of not following the safety protocol. She died. Okay, so you know that, right, the safety is, even though I told that I'm not going to deep into that research, but this is more serious, right? Whether you are moving at a very faster rate or slow or steady or whatever the speed at which you are going to do that, you have to follow a proper braking system. The braking system is nothing but a safety device that has to be used. So here, if you properly use the safety, you can prevent injuries, prevent damages. It's a great boost for research scholar. The delay in time of research can be greatly reduced. At the same time, we used to say that if you follow the safety procedure, the productivity increases. So if you have a good braking system in your vehicle, you can go at a faster rate, right? Similarly, if you follow the research, if you follow the safety in your research, you can go at a very faster rate. That's what says that improves in productivity if you follow the safety. Here again, there is a report, 1500 lab-related annual incident happened. That is only because of the chemical exposure. And the human error, right? If you look at that, the human error, 74% of the research incident or accident happen because of the human error. So this is the risk assessment. So this is a risk assessment framework. Okay, whenever you are going to enter into the lab, you have to find the hazard identification. The hazardous may be a chemical hazard, or it may be electrical hazard, or mechanical hazard, or an explosion. Whatever may be, whenever you are going to enter into the laboratory for the first time, you have to check thoroughly. That is hazard identification. Next will be the risk evaluation. You have to conduct a risk, whether that is coming under high risk, low risk, or medium risk, or risk. This is the risk assessment framework. Maybe because of less time, this is the way they used to find the risk. After finding the risk, if you notice that is the high risk, you have to bring down to a lower risk. That is very, very important. So how it can be reduced? This can be by proper control measures and mitigation strategies. It may be of engineering, or it may be of administrative, or by using proper PPEs. Okay? Yes. So by adopting all the strategies, we can reduce the incident greatly. PPEs, right? So even if you look at that particular Whale University, if that particular girl wear the proper maybe laboratory safety procedures, and the other girl, if he's not wearing the hair properly, that may be a problem. So here again, if you use gloves, that itself reduce the risk level by 70%. Wherever possible, you try to use the gloves and safety goggles in terms of eye related problem. We have to use safety goggles and lab coat. We also seen the case study. Because of this lab coat, what incident happened. And these are all the standards pertaining to PPEs, that is ANSI Z87.1, eye and face protection, OSHA, PPE general requirements, ISO 16602, protective clothing for chemical exposure. So here, because of this time constraint, I'm giving an overview of these standards. Whatever the area that you are working, you take a note of that, you go deep into that. This is the controls for hazard prevention. So wherever possible, if you find that it's a highly hazard or explosion material, it has to be eliminated. The first step is, if you find that this is hazard, this can be eliminated, right? That is very, very important. In case of the chemical or chemistry laboratories, you may find a lot of problem like this. They used to store even 10 years or 15 years or 20 years old chemicals, right? Even previously, I was heading the department. We used to handle the chemistry laboratory. There we used to store more than 50 years old chemical bottles, right? But we are not supposed to do that. But still you can find a lot of waste material, explosive materials that may be present. It has to be eliminated. Sometimes your research supervisor or your guide or the head of the department, he used to store that particular item. So you don't have a control to eliminate that. So you have to go with replace, or otherwise you have to go with engineering control. You have to isolate that, right? You have to isolate that. So engineering control has to be adapted if it is not possible to eliminate. Then you go with administrative controls. Still, some cases it's not possible to eliminate the hazards. You have to go with PPEs. So this engineering controls for hazard prevention. In case of ventilation, I told that by using the fume cupboards itself, 99% of the problems can be addressed. And again, the machine guards and interlock that reduce the mission related injuries. Automatic fire suppression system, it reduces the lab fire risk by 40%. So these are all the engineering controls depending upon your research laboratory. So whatever the things that you require, you try to adopt it. And this is the fire safety. Mostly the flammable chemical spillover, right? If you use a chemical, there's a chemical spillover. So because of that, the 45% in chemical industries, chemical laboratory, and electrical malfunction that accounts for 35%. Open flame that accounts for 2%, so 20%. So whenever you are in a fire or whatever the consumable materials, you try to use the proper fire extinguishers. You have to ensure that if you are working in a laboratory with high hazard or high fire hazard, you check you have CO2 extinguishers or you have foam extinguishers. It's mandate. You can request your supervisor or you can request your head of the department to place at least 1 or 2 fire extinguishers if you work in that particular area. And this is with reference to the chemical safety. So here the causes is improper storage. Normally what happens, the chemical, if you are not stored properly, there may be an incident, and the spilling at the time of handling, there may be possibilities of spillover and the reaction failure. So normally this 15%, it's mostly happen in our research laboratories. We used to try with various chemicals, so there may be possibilities of research failure. Yes? Hello. 2 minutes. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, these are all some of the chemical safety incident, right? Yes. This is the chemical storage standards, category 3, category 4, right? Okay. Yes. So this is with reference to biological safety statistics. If you know that whether it's a low risk, moderate, high, or extreme high risks. And this is with reference to the radiation. I think the people, they have a very less exposure to this radiation. And this is with reference to the electrical. I will take 2 minutes here. So normally due to overload circuit, there may be a problem. And again, at the time of working in the laboratory, we used to keep our laptop nearby the reaction area, right? So this may be a huge incident happen. This is ventilation. In case of laser, I think very limited people are working in laser. This is sound. Okay, now because of the time constraint, I'll go fast, right? Maybe I'll go to the takeover. Yeah, this is okay. So this is a key takeaway, right? So I can so proactive safety culture is very important, right? If you have a proactive, this is a key takeaway, right? When you are working in a safety related activities or when you are working in any industries, you must be hazardous related working. You must be very proactive, continuous improvements towards the research or towards safety research and collaborations, okay? Then data driven decision making, then risk management. These are all the things that you are supposed to follow very meticulously. And the safety is first. You have to secure the hazardous material. You have a proper IVA station. Emergency plan, that is very important. If you are working in any hazardous area, you must have a emergency exit plan and the risk assessment. Okay. Thank you for, so for this particular stuff, these are all the references. And none of them are my research material. It's all available in the website, right? It's not my research content. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So the idea for this session, not to threaten you to do, you keep away from research, but this is to make ensure while you do research work, the moment when you enter your laboratory or your, research place, workplace, first thing you should search where the first aid box is available, right? You first identify where it is available and make ensure in your laboratory whether fire extinguishers readily available or not. And if it is not in working condition, you please report to the lab technician. So the point is, when you do research, make ensure some lab technician must be available, right? If at all some untoward incident happened, like at least someone will help us to safeguard from this kind of untoward accident. Like there are some few accident also happened here because of the ignorance of the scholar, right? That's what recently the government insisted all the university provide enough like the safety precaution to the research scholars and also the PG and the UG students to avoid those kind of accidents in the laboratory. For this purpose, very first time we arranged this session, and all these content available like after 1 week, we'll float this video lecture in our web page. So whoever missed and whoever not noticed all the lecture, you can go through it and you please. So the advice is and do your research work with the full safety measures, right? That's a point. Thank you once again, sir.
Correction here, the safety will not slow down your research, right? Actually, it will increase your productivity. You can speed up your research. You can complete your research before the stipulated period of time. Okay, that's what we learned from the past 20 years of experience. Thank you.